I'm going to watch that again. Hang on.
Task resumed.
The great titan Khazgaroth, who
We'll get some better footage
granted
of
me
it.
the
Hang on.
gift of the Forge, has relayed information from the Pantheon about our purpose. To create order from the chaos of the cosmos, the Titans search the great dark beyond for the Prime World Soul. This World Soul, the most powerful in existence, they would guide to become the greatest Titan of all. In time, they came to sense a mighty presence within the world called Azeroth. The Pantheon made their way to the nascent World Soul, hoping that their search was at an end.
Super interesting.
Amazing.
Okay, great.
It's as
Lots and lots we can take from that. I mean, like all the theories that we've been having for years about what a world soul is,
These logs must be
they're completely right at this stage, which is fantastic. I feel like, you know,
I wonder how many more we
it's
can
been kind of clear for a while now what world souls actually are and that they're not titans. And everyone's kind of talking like we always knew that they weren't titans, but that's not what everyone thought. You know, this is like this is a kind of a left field thing, but it's been done so gradually with hints and kind of things, you know, filtered in so kind of holistically that everyone feels like it's been like that forever, and that's like really good, honestly. It's been quite well done. So, okay, right, let's get this footage up. I'm going to show you something. Let's pay attention to this wording. The great titan Khazgaroth, who granted me the gift of the Forge, has relayed information from the Pantheon about our purpose. Great. From the Titans' own mouths, which is fantastic. To create order from the chaos of the cosmos, the Titans search the great dark beyond for the Prime World Soul. So the use of the term Prime World Soul here is new. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think we've ever heard the term Prime World Soul before. In Chronicle, Azeroth is described as the greatest world soul of all, the most powerful world soul of all. And I might be wrong, but I don't think anything has been described as the prime world soul before. So we're introducing some new language into the lexicon here, which is going to be referred to an awful lot. So that's what they're doing. They're looking for like the prime world soul. Hooray. The world soul, the most powerful in existence, they would guide to become the greatest titan of all. Now, what is very important to point out here, so here's the theory that we on this channel have been working with for a very long time now, is that world souls are not titans. They can become titans, just like they can become, like, I don't know, void lords. They can become Elune type things. They can become something like Beladar, maybe. I don't know. They can become a very powerful representative of any side of the cosmos, and whichever part of the cosmos actually has the most influence on a world soul in its kind of gestation and manages to empower it as such, gets born as that type of being. No, Sargeras was born as a titan, but he then fell. He is a fallen titan, but he is very much an arcane titan. He is now a fell titan because he's been so infused with fell, but he was born an arcane titan, like the titans as we know them. Isn't Elune a rogue eternal one from the Shadowlands? That sounds like an internet theory that you have treated as fact. I'm not saying she's not, but also she's not. So Elune is... the Shadowlands lore is so fucked up, but Elune is, we think, from the life realm. She seems to be from the life realm, and you know that's why she's the Winter Queen's sister, not because they come from the same place, but because they serve the same purpose. All of Elune's power are arcane, though. Well, they're astral, and you know, like Ionar is a titan, but a lot of her powers are nature. which only goes to strengthen the theory that I'm currently explaining, which is that a world soul is born as a representative of whatever cosmos has had the most influence on it in its gestation. But what happens if multiple cosmoses have influence on it in its gestation? Well, maybe they're kind of a mix. So Ionar is a Titan. She's an arcane Titan, but it's also feasible that in the same way that Azeroth had a Black Empire on it for a very long time, which definitely infused it with a lot of void shit, maybe before the Titans, Aman'Thul and Khaz'goroth, discovered Ionar's world soul, maybe she had a load of world trees on her. Maybe the Life Realm was working its magic on her a lot, and if it hadn't been stopped, would have given birth to an Elune-type being. But just like they did with the Black Empire on Azeroth, the Titans cleared away all those world trees, and she was eventually born as a Titan, but she still had the remnants of that early kind of Life Realm influence on her, which is why she wields life magic as well, because she's kind of a mix. And that makes you wonder, what kind of a mix is Azeroth? Does that make sense? You know, Ionar is a great example of a Titan that would appear to be a mix. She's definitely an arcane Titan, but she also obviously has influence from the Life Realm as well. So, you know, what kind of mix does Azeroth have? I would argue a little mix of everything, which is why it's so important. The Death Realms definitely had influence on Azeroth's gestation. The Void obviously has. There are world trees all over this fucking planet, so the Life Realm definitely has. The Titans, goes without saying. There's a huge fell fucking sword sticking out of the planet. And, you know, Beladar certainly looks like it might have been the Light's version of trying to get to the World Soul as well. So, didn't we visit Ionar's homeworld during the Antorus raid? Well, we went to her hiding place. I don't know if it was her homeworld. So, oh, have you read the Arathi tome about planar constellations in the Hunt for the Arathi Wizard? I have read that, and it's very funny. You could happily take literally everything they say at face value in that book, and it doesn't really change anything, which is great. And I like it a lot. It's more, honestly, it's more about the elements than it is the cosmoses. It's really interesting though. Yeah. So there's that. And you know, so the theory we've been working for towards a long time on this channel, and you know, other people have as well. I'm not trying to claim it as a T&E thing, but I don't remember anyone saying it before we did, but it doesn't matter if anyone did, is that, yeah, world souls are not Titans. They are the product of whatever cosmological force acts on them the most when they are world souls. And that does seem to have been backed up by literally everything since that theory was come up with, right? You know, it definitely feels like that's the way they're going. And it's very, very easy to read all of this scene playing out here as being evidence that confirms that. And I agree with you. I think it actually is. But I would also point out the wording. Take your, like, speculation, I believe this theory glasses off for a second, because yes, in my opinion, this does completely back up the theory in that it doesn't spoil the theory. Anything that doesn't spoil a theory backs it up. However, it also doesn't prove it. Like, a lot of people are going to say it does prove it, but it doesn't, because the wording here is very, very specific. The world soul, they're talking about the prime world soul. They went looking for the prime world soul, okay? The world soul, the most powerful in existence, they would then guide to become the greatest Titan of all. Now, that does not mean, it is not proof that world souls are not Titans. I think they are not Titans. I think you probably think that they're not Titans. I think most people in the world think they're not Titans, and I don't think they are Titans. But this wording is very clever, because it could mean either. Yeah, they're going to guide it to become the greatest Titan, but that doesn't mean it wouldn't have been a Titan if they hadn't guided it. Like, I guide my little boy to be a nice person and to be a successful human being and to learn to tie his shoelaces, but he would have still been a human being if I hadn't guided him. I'm going to guide my son to be a functioning human being. Okay, so I might not have made him a functioning human being, but there's nothing I could do about him being human. He was always going to be a human being. Like, guiding a world soul to become the greatest Titan of all does not mean that world souls are not all Titans automatically. It can mean that they're not, so it doesn't ruin the theory. So the theory is still sound, and therefore kind of backs it up, but it does not prove it. A lot of people are going to say this is proof that world souls are not Titans. It is not. And I'm saying this as someone that is 1,000,000% on board. Like, I will feel like a massive Bertie Big Bollocks when it turns out that world souls are not Titans. So, you know, I'm very biased, and I refuse to let this bias cloud my reading of these words. This does not prove it. This sentence here does not prove that world souls are not automatically Titans. Just doesn't. The next thing they say is, by the way, I love this animation they've got going on here as well. In time, they came to sense a mighty presence within the world of Azeroth. The Pantheon made their way to the nascent world soul, hoping that their search was at an end. There's nothing in this scene that proves that world souls aren't Titans. I don't think world souls are Titans. I know you don't think they are. I know most people don't think they are. I know we're looking for some like genuine flat out proof, but this is not that proof. So it does not prove that the world soul is not a Titan. There are other things that I think prove it better than this. You know, the fact that the fucking dragon aspects say, oh, this is not Titan magic. The fact that Magni doesn't think that the power he gets from Azeroth is Titan magic. Like, I think those are pretty big giveaways that she's not a Titan, and therefore world souls aren't Titans necessarily. But this scene, it backs up the theory because it doesn't disprove it. Anything that doesn't disprove a theory backs it up, but it doesn't prove it. Does that make sense? Does everyone get what I'm getting at there? Also, rather sneakily, obviously this scene, you'll have noticed, does not reveal what that presence that they found in the world soul called Azeroth is. I've got a feeling it's going to lead into like Black Empire stuff. I subscribe to the theory that the Titans do what the Void Lords do, but instead of parasites, they build facilities. Yeah, oh, yeah, I mean, it's the same theory, right? Yeah, like every cosmological force has their way of trying to, like, you know, basically every cosmological force has a thing that they use to get through the Earth's crust to the world soul and try and influence it. The Void has the old gods with their literal tentacles that go down. The Titans have their facilities, which drill big, like, fucking tunnels down. The Life Realm has world trees with their roots that go down. The Death Realm has the engine of whatever it fucking is. I always forget the name. In Northrend. The Fell, don't know if you noticed, but Fell Titan smashed a huge fucking sword through the Earth's surface trying to get to the world soul. And, you know, you got a Hallowfall. There certainly does seem to be a big fucking crystal trying to get down to the world soul, right? So yeah, they've all got their way of doing it. The Titans, you know, they have their way of trying to get to the world soul and influence it. And, you know, if any other cosmological force was doing it, they would call it corrupting the world soul, right? But it's just the same thing they're doing. They're just trying to birth a very powerful kind of version of their cosmos in our reality. That's all it is. It does seem like we're very lucky that we inhabit the most important planet in the whole universe. Well, that's kind of like the Goldilocks effect, isn't it? You know, it's like, oh, it's convenient that we live on the only planet in our entire fucking galaxy that supports life. And it's like, well, of course we would. We wouldn't live anywhere else, would we? By definition, the only place we could exist is the planet Earth because it's the only planet that supports life. So it's not so much convenient as kind of preordained, like impossible not to work that way, right? And it's likewise with this shit. And it's like, yeah, no shit, the most interesting story is happening to our planet. That's why they set the story on our planet. Like, yeah, it's like, what story should we tell about this entire fucking universe? I don't know. Should we tell the story about the most interesting planet that's the most powerful one? Yeah, sure. And everyone's like, very convenient that it happens to be our planet. It's like, yes, that's why it's that planet that we're telling the story about, because it's the most interesting one. Sorry, I'm not having a go at you. I just find it funny. Yeah, I mean, it follows that, yeah, they set the story of World of Warcraft on the planet in the cosmos that has the most interesting story. Yeah, it makes sense. It's like a puddle thinking because it fills a hole. The hole was made for it. All holes are made for me. Ask your mum. Met some rocking back and forth, realizing that there's a way more interesting planet in the lore they totally misplaced. And if only I had the power to change this. Yeah, exactly. So this, I love this scene, by the way. The most important thing about this scene is that it gives YouTubers loads of really good footage they can use. Look at this shit. Holy fuck. You're going to see this popping up everywhere. I love it. And the second most important thing about this sequence is it introduces the term Prime World Soul into the lexicon. As far as I'm aware, that has not been something that we've heard mentioned before. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm more than happy to be wrong. But as far as I'm aware, that's the first time we've heard this term, Prime World Soul. So I think that's probably the most important thing to come out of this. Obviously, we're going to see more of these, which tell the story more. This is going to be like a holding form to like give us some good exposition. And this is just like a tantalizing first chapter of that. So really, really excited by what's going to kind of come out of this. And we will get some truth from this as well. And bear in mind, you know, this isn't another very important thing to bear in mind, which I know you are bearing in mind, but this isn't documentary footage. Okay? This is not filmed on a fucking handy cam. This is not as it happened. This is a hologrammatic reproduction of what Khazgaroth, has said to Arcadus. Okay, so this is Arcadus telling a story that was told to him by Khazgaroth. So we are seeing this story from the point of view of the Titans. This story was told to us by a Titan. This is only one step removed from the actual word of a Titan. But that Titan doesn't have to be telling the truth.